Dzień dobry. Ja jestem zaszczycony, że możemy przed Państwo przystąpić. And I'm going to talk in English, if you don't mind. And I met a couple of people yesterday, and I heard a lot of expectations that after the 20 minutes talk, you are going to be billionaires. It would be perfect. But what I'm going to do today is to share our story that started 2 years ago at Charles University in Prague. And we have a team who would like to improve quality of life. The complete team is working in laboratories, in academia, and in routine labs. And we have the team of PhD and people. And at the beginning of pandemic, we came with a solution or a complete solution for PCR testing. And we were able to take the solution from academia to business in 2 months. And in additional 2 months, we took over 25% market share in the Czech Republic. So in the first months, we had the turnover of $20 million with quite a big EBITDA. And we help physicians and patients to deliver the results if the person is COVID positive or negative. And what we did is very simple. We just connected the academia and university with a business. And the founders were not people or persons, the founders were companies. And we used that model that we use those companies and their company functions for the new brand company. It means that we have 0 employees. We still have 0 employees, even though we have logistics, warehouse, accounting, finance, service, application support, customer care, and management. It's quite difficult to manage people from other companies for our purpose, but I like to share a couple of takeaways for people who start the business. The first one, I will start from the end. I worked for a US company over 12 years in different management positions in Central Eastern Europe, and around 10 years back, the companies were selling products. Then the marketing guys came and said, hey, don't sell the product, sell the solution, because it's much easier, and then the price is not transparent, then we can have higher margin. And together with colleagues, we founded new startups, and we are not perfect. So what we do is that we do sell our vision. I think it's very important to say that again, that we do sell our vision, and therefore we have to think about one simple question, HR question, that's where we would like to be in 10 years. The next one, we see a huge failure of startups in the Czech Republic that 8 or 7 or 9 from 10 simply fail. One of the main reasons why they fail is that the innovators and people who are really clever and they love what they do, they are the inventors and they go to the management position. But to do the business is completely different story than to innovate a product or the solution or the vision. So what we did, we completely separate the science and innovators from the management of the company. And we have in our team, and I will talk about it a little bit later, only people from academia who are PhD clever, and then they don't talk about the management, business strategy, about marketing, and about the vision of the company. We did it a couple of times, and we failed. So we completely separated. Next time, or next point is, think about time and timing. We use outsourcing anytime we can for 2 major reasons. The first one is it's cheaper and it's very fast. And the second one, we don't need to be build any organization internally. We don't need to talk to our people, and management is very difficult, and we listened that in the previous presentations, that it's better to have contracted partners, and if you have contracted partners, you can have even physicians, you can have IT guys, developers, you can have anyone with the knowledge, and you pay for the result, you don't pay for the people, and it's much faster. And especially for the startups, if you are at the beginning and you need to turn the company from one side to the other side, or go completely by different direction because you get a feedback from the market, then it's much easier just to discontinue the contract than to fire the people and find new one and do the onboarding. It's much easier to think about a time rather than the organization. And we took all those takeaways and we created a new company that's becoming global. We don't create the products, even the solutions, we just create the market. We are in 40% founded by university, and we know that we cannot build global company with the sales and all the support. So what we do have contracts with global players, and we took the technologies from the university to the market in cooperation with global partners, because it's very easy, it's quite cheap, and it's straightforward to get a sales organization globally. And I'm going to show just 3 examples of technologies coming from the university to business. Just imagine that there is a pandemic, COVID-19, and for PCR, you have that the person is COVID positive or negative. And just imagine that there is a technology that could say you are COVID positive, and a couple of days, 3-4 days ahead, you will stay in hospital with difficulties. Then we could get a window for doctors to treat a person. That's the most effective at the beginning of the pandemic. And actually we have such technology, and we patented the technology in the Czech Republic. We have PTC, and we go to US, and therefore we open an office in US. And we moved the project in cooperation with global players. It's Beckman Coulter, that's the #2 globally in clinical diagnostics. We do the scale up and certification. And what is important that we have market ready for additional 20 years because it's patented and the IP is in our property. Next example, just imagine that around 10% of people is having some issue with kidney, and it could progress in later stage of life or even not. But it's very difficult to diagnose those people because it's very expensive, it's by DNA sequencing, and it's time consuming. So what we did in cooperation with Broad Institute from Boston is a new patented technology that could very easily in any single laboratory in Poland, Czech Republic, or anywhere else to do the screening and to highlight those people who can have in later stage the progression of the kidney failure. In this project, we cooperate with different global companies, and we do the R&D business and clinical study. And we do work with global players for the production, sales, and marketing. Next one is, I don't know if anyone is having a kid, but I guess some of you, yes. And during the pregnancy, there could be some complications. We have a technology that could, in the first trimester, say if there is going to be complication with high pressure, diabetes, preterm birth, and many others, just from the blood. And the technology is very simple, and we can provide the information from the beginning of the pregnancy. And it means that there could be a plan for the mother for the additional period for the check or more frequent doctor check or even for the preventive treatment to, uh, to have the birth in the normal way. Again, the market is still 2041 and it's completely new area where we go. We have around 15 such technologies, even from the idea to the market-ready solution. I highlighted 3 of them, but we acquired one company that's doing holographs to bank papers, and we are able to do 3D nanoprinting. We are going to use that for biotech segment and biomedical segment, and just imagine that you have a chip and one organo chip, one single tissue on the chip, and you can do, for example, drug toxicity. Then you don't need to have animals for the pharmaceutical companies, because you can do it under microscopy to see if the drug is toxic or it's not toxic. What we would like to do is as well a lab on chip with no instrument needed to diagnose, for example, malaria in the region where it's quite difficult to have instruments because it's quite expensive and there is no staff to do that. So our idea is to have credit card with lab on chip and just put their saliva or blood or drop any biological material and to say positive, neither negative. We have a couple of products that are already certified and in the global sales of global companies, and the business model is more or less based on the licensing payment back to our company, and we invest that back into the research because the biomedical research is quite expensive. As I said from the beginning, time is very critical and we don't want to create any organization. We have our internal scientific team having PhD, but those people are more product managers. What we do, we cooperate with plenty of universities in Czech Republic and even outside the Czech Republic with laboratories and hospitals and with companies who are quite innovative to get the knowledge from them for our projects. And it looks like a very effective way how to get the knowledge under our roof. What we know is, I still have 7 minutes, is that the healthcare is going to be digitalized, and there are 2 segments that are highly growing. The first one is genetics and DNA testing, and to look at the predispositions for some diseases. And the other one is this. And we are creating with young people application and approach how to provide people preventive healthcare in the pocket in one application based on the DNA analysis. Based on that, we are able to say the predispositions for diseases, even which nutrients are well metabolized on inoposite and you can avoid during your food. And there are plenty of other areas we can read the information that could be important for the life or active life. We go to the market right now in cooperation with a couple of hospitals, with stores, and we are in late discussions with Visa cards to provide that to their clients. We take Czech Republic as a pilot one, and then after the seed round, we would like to go to other countries in Europe. And Poland is actually one of the 2 countries next to the Czech Republic. This is actually what I wanted to share, is the story that looks pretty nice, and it looks that it's easy to do it. In reality, it's like we were talking a couple of minutes ago with a friend over there, that it's like Instagram, it looks nice, but in reality, it's completely different. It's a lot of job behind. We stayed 2 years during the COVID in hospitals, from the morning to the evening and the next day ahead. And we could take the money and stay in Bahama. but we took the money and we put it to charity in the Czech Republic. We sent it back to the Charles University for Science, and we would like to build a new company that's going to be global in the business model that's quite different than other one. We don't want to create a sales business organization. We would like to have the cooperation with global partners because life is the only one, and time is the most important thing we can have. So we don't want to spend the time. If you would like to follow our journey and stay in touch, here's my LinkedIn profile. And I wish you all the best here and in the life. And dziękuję bardzo. Thank you.